Finally, meaningful basketball games, and oh, what a night it was. Trae Young and the Hawks clean out the Miami Heat. LeBron was the king, and tonight the Pelicans take on the Thunder. This is Hoop Talks. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Hoop Talks. Justin Pooni Noor Zainab. Jelani Goodridge is not here, but he will be here later on today as we will be live on location from Scotiabank Arena celebrating, what is it, Noor? The Raptors play-in game.
It's the Raptors play-in game today, you guys, with DeMar DeRozan in Toronto. The weather is nice. It feels like a summer day. And you know what? Maybe a day ago I would have sat there and been like, why are we here? But something about the sun shining first thing in the morning got me feeling like we could get this win. We could
That's
do something
very
today.
Positive, but there's still a game to be played. We will be live at Scotiabank Arena. You'll have a special Hoop Talks episode up later before the game. But let's talk about last night first, where, first off, the Atlanta Hawks, mine and Jelani's Atlanta Hawks, went down to South Beach. Trae Young, all the rumors about trades and what's going to transpire with his future, he shut all those people down. Ice Trae had 25 points, 7 assists, and 8 rebounds in a 116-105 Miami Heat victory. And he had some choice words for Jimmy Butler post-game.
I know Jimmy guaranteed a dub, so I was really focused on making sure that didn't happen.
Looking like Blade Runner over there.
Ooh, he's channeling his inner LeBron James. Remember when LeBron had the black shades during the finals
Everyone's
of 2016?
done it. Dylan Brooks has done it too.
Yeah,
it's not
but
just
this
LeBron
is channeling
James.
his inner LeBron,
Okay.
same type of energy. Anyway, Noor, tell me, what did you make of this game where Kyle Lowry did show out, but the rest of Miami Heat did not?
You know, I think I was worried about this because we kept saying that it's the Heat culture, it's the Heat experience, it's all those guys that make up the team, and Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry and all those veterans surrounded by and good young pieces, having Tyler Hero there, even Duncan Robinson. But we didn't fail to think, okay, maybe this was their season the whole time. Perhaps it wouldn't change anything once they go into the play-in or playoff race, because nothing looked any different. Jimmy Butler didn't show up. Bam Adebayo got his... I would be embarrassed to wake up if I were Bam Adebayo this morning because of what Clint Capella did to him last night. He conceded 21 rebounds. And anytime I saw him, he was getting manhandled in the paint by Clint Capella. Clint Capella made him his son last night.
The Hawks had 63 rebounds to the Heat's 39.
They did absolutely nothing in the paint.
Yeah,
nothing in the paint. And all you saw was Kyle Lowry on the perimeter trying to do things that he could do. And if 37-year-old Kyle Lowry is your best bet to come off the bench and give you over 30 points, you're not going to win that game. Yeah. But credit to the Hawks, especially their defense. Their defense came in. Their starter five wasn't exactly the best when it came to locking up the other end. But once you saw guys like even Jalen Johnson, him coming off the bench, I'm going to butcher this name right now. I wish I knew a little bit better. Onikia Okongwu.
Yes.
Did you get it right?
Yeah. He had 4 blocks, 12 points. He was a huge presence in
Those
the paint.
Those two guys off
Even
the bench
Sadiq Bey chipped in with 17 points, 7 of 17, 3 3-pointers. Bogdanovich had 14 points. Look, the Atlanta Hawks played a very good road game, and they got off to a great start. They had dropped 36 points in the first quarter. That kind of set the tone. They built that big lead. Yes, the Heat had a strong start at halftime, but at the end of that third quarter, the Hawks pulled away again, and then they were on cruise control. And now, whoever wins this game tonight between Chicago and Toronto is going to get a very, very mad and angry Miami Heat team.
Yeah.
I think this right there was the kick in the teeth the Heat needed to wake up. And a guy like Jimmy Butler, who did not play very good, and a lot of his shots last night were just short, lipped out. He shot 6 of 19. Bam was 5 of 12. Gabe Vincent, 2 of 6. Tyler Hero had a good game, 26 points, 12 of 23 shooting. Max Strus was pretty invisible. And the biggest thing was, other than Kyle Lowry, they got no bench presence from anybody else on the Miami Heat. And they're going to need that if they want to win. And this is a team that we talked about the other day, was their defense was supposed to be their calling card. The Hawks had their way with them, and they were sloppy with the ball. I think they had 8 turnovers the Heat. So I'm very interested to see how Miami pivots and heads in towards Friday depending on who they play, either the Raptors or the Bulls.
I also want to give credit to Quinn Snyder there. What
Mhm.
he's done after Nick McMillan left, completely shaped his team around and gave them momentum and motivation, because you never saw that beforehand. Having Trae Young come into this game knowing that I need to put everything on the line was massive for this team. And also John Collins.
Yep.
Every single time it looked like the Heat might be making a comeback, they were about like 5-7 points within a reach of catching up with the Hawks. It was always John Collins that I saw in the paint getting that dunk and through an assist every single time. He was looking at the camera and flexing. So it wasn't just the main guy. It wasn't just the your main guys and DeJounte Murray and Trae Young there. Everyone contributed. You had about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 guys in double figures. It's very
21
hard
rebounds
to
from
beat
Clint
that.
Capella.
I
Right? Like you
have
mentioned,
always wanted Clint Capella on my team.
Yeah.
I am a huge Clint Capella fan, and having a young guy like that dominating the paint next to someone like Bam Adebayo, who's supposed to be one of the best defensive players in the NBA, fantastic game from the Hawks.
And the
they
Hawks,
came into enemy territory.
And they didn't shoot the 3 ball well. They shot 24%.
They
So
didn't need to.
now, do you think they have a chance against Boston? I think they can win a game, maybe 2.
I would say, yeah, I would say a game or 2. I just don't think they have the experience to go up against the Boston Celtics. I think they'll catch them off guard the first couple of games, but I think beyond that, you can expect guys on that team to figure out a game plan to stop them.
Now, somebody who didn't have who had a game plan but didn't execute it very well, especially in the fourth quarter, was the Minnesota Timberwolves. They fell to the Los Angeles Lakers 108-102. The King, LeBron James, 30 points. Kind of a messy game, though, from LeBron. Of course, he had that great moment at the end of the game where he passed off to Dennis Schroeder. And then Anthony Davis with the big mishap, fouling Mike Conley on that last three-pointer right there. Anthony Davis is the guy who's supposed to pride himself on a whole lot of defense. A brain fart, as LeBron called it. All to be nothing. They end up winning in overtime. But look, LeBron was a minus 14 last night. He had 5 turnovers. Did not, he shot the ball well, right? Over 50%, 10 rebounds. But it was a messy game, especially in the fourth quarter. Karl-Anthony Towns, and I think the thing with the Minnesota Timberwolves is this. Anthony Edwards, I don't know if it was his shoulder that he bumped and it was a problem, but he was hesitant to shoot the ball. Karl-Anthony Towns forgot how to play in the fourth quarter. Mike Conley was red hot, and they blew it. And once again, you look at the Minnesota Timberwolves, they blew another game because they don't know how to play in the fourth quarter.
I feel like I'm looking at this kind of differently, though, because I think this should have been a pretty solid victory for the Lakers coming out on top comfortably. But the fact that the Timberwolves, and obviously given the fact, you and me know that it was Anthony Davis's fault that we pulled it into going OT, but just the mere fact that they did and that they caught up, they pushed them to OT, having Anthony Edwards only score 9 points. And having Karl-Anthony Towns, by the way, have 5 fouls in the fourth, I think it bodes well for what they tried to do. Now, will they go on and win afterwards? I don't think so. But I do think that what they did last night was one of the best versions of their team because of their defense. Anthony Edwards did not look to shoot because I think his game plan that night was to just go hard on the defensive end. And that's what he was doing. And Karl-Anthony Towns, he came out early, got 2 fouls in the first quarter, I think. And that could have slowed him down. But it didn't until the fourth quarter when he racked up 5 fouls. So I'm not making excuses for them. I think this game should have gone to the Lakers to begin with. But the fact that the Minnesota Timberwolves made it that close for them is a good game on their end.
Yeah, I mean, of course, they were shorthanded. Jaden McDaniels was out. Rudy Gobert, of course, was suspended following the punch incident. So they were shorthanded, but they were up big at certain points of this game. And you thought, okay, just keep on making your shots, keep on playing sound defense, keep on being efficient on the offensive side of the ball, and you guys will close this one out. Noor, they had 12 points in the fourth quarter, 4 in overtime.
Yeah, they were relying on
They got outscored by the Lakers 29-16. And that's the difference in the ball game right there. Right?
I think it just tells you that's what happens because you were relying on Karl-Anthony Towns to run your offense the whole night. It was him or Mike Conley, really, pretty much, right? And when you rack up 5 fouls in the fourth, it's very hard to make yourself aggressive. So I do feel for him because I'm like, maybe we tell him to be aggressive and we're like, Karl-Anthony Towns is soft. He doesn't put his body on the line, but when he does, he racks up those fouls. So then we give him crap for that too. But being a player that wants to perform in the playoffs, I think you have to choose your moments wisely on when you commit those fouls.
He's just not a smart basketball player, and he's still young, right? But he just doesn't play. And this could be the except for the whole Timberwolves thing at that, and I think that's why I believe they need a new head coach is because they just don't play smart basketball, winning basketball. Like you saw LeBron James make a winning play on that 3 to Dennis Schroeder, right? You saw, yes, he had some blunders, but when it mattered the most, the Lakers players made winning plays, and I think
besides Anthony Davis.
But then again, I don't think Anthony Davis is really a winning player.
I mean, that Lakers as a whole. So I'm just trying to paint the picture.
Yeah, I'm just saying with Anthony Davis though. Anyway, Rui Hachimura had a good game. You know, Dennis Schroeder. I think Dennis Schroeder was that guy for them. But when I look at the Lakers, they're not going to win pretty games. They're going to win like ugly games based off their defense, and I think that bodes well for them against Memphis, a team that likes to, you know, has high flashy moments. But if the Lakers could play strong defense on the Grizzlies and they can neutralize Ja Morant and Desmond Bane, Steven Adams is out, I think the Lakers have a very good chance of taking down the Memphis Grizzlies.
I think we're all in favor of bringing down the Memphis Grizzlies, no matter who it is. But I think they will give the Lakers a hard time. Steven Adams going down is pretty big for the Grizzlies. Losing him is going to be massive. Not having his paint presence there. But Western Conference is a crap show. Like Mo said, throw a dart on the board, anything can happen.
Last question, quickly. Tell me who wins tonight between the Pelicans and Thunder.
I'm going to go with the Pelicans.
Why?
Because I trust in their squad way more. I understand they have Shea. I know Thunder has a very good young team that can produce offensively on every single level. But I'm looking at the experience of guys like Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, and Jonas Valanciunas. Even without Zion, I think they can do something here. And those guys are good at shooting. They understand the offensive load that's going to be there. You have 3 guys. You have CJ McCollum who handles the ball. You got Brandon Ingram who can shoot the ball. Then you got Jonas who can be in the paint. It's going to be hard for them to come out against Jonas, in my opinion.
I'm just going to go with the Oklahoma State Thunder because I want to be different than you. And they have Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, a Canadian, who should be all NBA, maybe even with some MVP votes. The Oklahoma State Thunder will win
still
this
alive,
game.
baby.
That is it for Hoop Talks today. We will be live from Scotiabank Arena later on this evening for the Raptors and Bulls play-in game. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more Hoop Talks.